aka the Impact Wrestling Observer. I'm your host, Smart Mark, and this is your report for November 24th, 2011, aka Thanksgiving. Tonight's show opened up with Kurt Angle coming out and cutting a promo with James Storm. A little back and forth between them. It was somewhat entertaining. The best part was when James Storm hit Kurt Angle at the end of the promo saying, "My daughter told me to give you a message," and he hits him. During the altercation, Immortal came out, which was Jarrett, Bully Ray, and Christopher Daniels, who I guess is an Immortal now. I don't know for sure. That was kind of one thing about this episode, is some of the things that were happening just didn't make sense to me. So anyways, that went on for a little bit. Then we see EY and the return of Rudy Charles and the return of the turkey suit. Some of you guys might remember they've had the Loser Wears the Turkey Suit match a few times in the past, and they brought it back. And it's just kind of a little comedic thing, and it was pretty fun seeing Rudy Charles come back, though. Then there was a little bit of a promo about how Morgan and Crimson got together and won the belts. That set up Mexican America getting their rematch against Crimson Morgan. Crimson Morgan retained. The writing was on the wall all day for that match, so that was the first match of the night, and Morgan and Crimson still look like they're going to be a pretty dominant tag team for a little bit. Then we got another promo where it was Eric Young, Eric Young actually approaching Robbie E about the match with the turkey suit, and Rudy Charles said that per Sting, if Robbie E didn't participate, then he was going to be stripped of the TV title, all of which was not true, but it was kind of funny. Robbie E said no way that he was going to do it, stormed off. Obviously, it was the setup for the match that was to come a little bit later. Then we got what seemed like just a never-ending segment of the women's Knockouts division. Started out with Karen Jarrett, Gail Kim, Madison Rayne, and Tracy coming out, and Karen Jarrett calls out Velvet and Winter and Angelina and Tara and Miss Tessmacher. All about how the perverts have been saying that this Karen Jarrett's talking about the perverts keep saying they want more skid, and so she sets up the Thanksgiving Thong Thunder match, and it is a lingerie match. Kind of, once commercial comes back, there's more set up for it with Tara and Tessmacher and Velvet backstage saying how humiliating to have to do the match. Then it goes and shows Gail Kim getting ready. Mickie James confronts her backstage, and they have an altercation. Madison Rayne kind of got involved for a second. Then they finally have the match. Velvet, Tara, Miss Tessmacher get the win with a little help from Mickie James. Then went to commercial and came back and had Karen Jarrett and company bitching backstage. So, all in all, way too much time given to this. 3 segments. After that, Hardy comes out wearing his stupid mask. But wait, it was actually Jeff Jarrett in the mask, and he gives a promo acting like he's Jeff Hardy, and it was a pretty good promo. I liked it. Then Hardy comes out, and they get into it, and then Immortal comes out, and then AJ and RVD and Mr. Anderson come out, and there's a melee, kind of setting up the match coming up. At the end of this, Jarrett did attack Hardy from behind and threw him against the steps a couple times, knocking him out of commission for the 4-on-4 match that was coming up.
And now it's time for the Impact Wrestling Observer Moment of Impact.
It was a pretty funny setup going in for the turkey match. They showed like a retrospective of guys getting put in the turkey suit before. I think it showed Styles and from Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley. It was pretty funny, saying it was the one title nobody wanted. So then they finally have the match, and Robbie E hits EY with some kind of gimmick, gets the win, puts it under his arm, and then when Rudy Charles lifts his arm to announce him the victor, the gimmick falls out. Rudy Charles says they're going to restart the match, and EY gets the quick win, but then he announces for some reason that Robbie E is not going to be able to wear the suit. I guess because he's knocked out, so they put Rob Terry in the suit. It was kind of funny, but it was that kind of night. Then we get finally the main event match. It's Team Storm versus Team Angle. One thing I thought was kind of dumb about this is that Angle and Storm weren't even competing in the match. They were like captains, and there was really, I mean, I don't know what the point was of that. Bobby Roode comes out and starts out doing commentary for a long time. Then he sees his opportunity, comes in, quick tags, gets in, and eliminates Anderson. But by the way, this was a classic Survivor Series style match. So Roode eliminates Anderson. Then he gets DQ'd for giving AJ a low blow. Then Daniels eliminates RVD, which sets up AJ Styles being left alone with Jarrett and Daniels and Bully Ray. But luckily, Jeff Hardy comes out to save the day and eliminates Daniels and Jeff Jarrett in quick fashion. And AJ ends up eliminating Bully Ray for the win. Then after the match, Bobby Roode attacks Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles with the belt, and that's how we go out. The entire show felt basically like a throwaway show. It did a little bit in that main event of setting up a little more for the feuds going on that they have, but for one of the big things that bothers me is how in the world is Kurt Angle on a team with Jeff Jarrett? Don't they hate each other? Does it make any sense that Angle ever would have joined Immortal in the first place under the reason being given because of Dixie Carter hiding what she knew from him about Jeff and Karen, and yet now you're teaming with them? It makes zero sense at all to me. The enormous amount of time given to the Knockouts division on this show was just, I don't know, it just felt like too much of shoving this down our throat. And the good thing is the match kind of did rise to the occasion for all the hype they were doing for it. It was an entertaining match, but I just don't feel like the women's division should get that much face time, and your X division get nothing, not a mention of the X division at all. you could have cut out 2/3 of the promo work being done for this and put in an X Division match. That was stupid. Overall, I'm giving this episode a D grade. It had its entertaining moments. Most of those were comedic, not due to the action. There was way more talk time. We only had 4 matches, which, breaks down to 2 matches an hour. And when your matches are only 15 minutes long, that means there's about a half hour, give or take, of talking in each hour. It's just, I thought wrestling was supposed to matter. Anyway, so it's a D grade of a show. Hopefully next week will be better. And this has been your report for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. We'll see you next week.